How did they know you were the guy that was moving it all the way up there in Detroit? How did they know you were the real
what I found
distributor?
What I found out. Oh, you mean the Mario and eventually I'll say Frank. My brother, love him. He gonna hear this, but he's a. I mean, he doesn't. Good heart, but he was always coming short. He wasn't paying like he was supposed to. He get the marijuana. It might take him a month and a half, and they start moving it quick. So I'm thinking over time, what happened is, so let me have to edit this out, but excuse me. What happened over time is the guy on the west side that we had to go pick up from, he told them because he got an opportunity to see me because my brother didn't even have a crew.
Right.
I had to load it up in the van and drive it myself. My brother was scared to drive it. So he told them. And so they squoze the information out of my brother. And like I said, my brother didn't want to bring me down, but they made him because they wouldn't send him nothing else. So now when I come, they already have an idea because the guys there at the strip club are with us. And now they got me to themselves going down to Tucson.
So they're pushing your brother out of the way because they want to deal with you directly.
And they tried to, but I would not let them. Okay. And that, I guess, the term what they call, they tried to jump you. I wouldn't let them jump him because that's my brother. And he actually set me up later. But anyway, so we eventually end up having a conversation. And Frank came and got us the next morning to drive us back up to Tempe or wherever in Arizona to go ahead and get ready to catch a flight back. But he wanted to discuss wanting to increase. So
increase the size of the loads.
Increase the size of the loads. So there was already a load that had left. Actually, we didn't know it, but left like a day before we were supposed to leave. So it could meet us up there, so to speak. And he had us in the car on the ride back, and he's talking about the business, saying what he want to do. And I started to talk, just started to come to me. Okay, well, what we're going to need, if you're talking about giving us this amount, we're going to need to borrow some money from you because we're going to need to get some places to store this stuff. We need to get vehicles to move it in. And I'm noticing he's not talking. He just started listening and squinting his eyes and shaking his head. And my brother's sitting up front like, yeah, that's exactly what we planned. No. And as we got closer to Tucson, because he could throw out scenarios, I would answer back. And he told me, he said, Wayne, I really like the way you think about the business. And that pretty much set the tone. So they sent us like 2,500 pounds. Got rid of that in like 3 days.
Wow. All from to cats in Detroit.
Yeah. But again, these guys, some of these guys, and one of them became a really close friend of mine because when I got off into the cocaine, I could go borrow 400, 500,000 from this guy. You know, so he had guys in Ohio and other places that were coming up paying cash.
Huge hub. Detroit's a huge Midwest hub.
So that's coming in, and it got so to the point, Johnny, that they started sending like about 45, like 2 to 3 metric tons
of pot.
Yeah. And I'm moving this in like a day and a half, 2 days. When they come in, they would start saying, well, when they come in, listen, we at least need $1 million or 1.5. I was like, okay, no problem. And I would have it. Okay. They would have the truck sit there and wait. The would come, and I literally, probably within a few hours, I would have like 1.5, 1.7.
Wow.
And my brother was raping me, charged me like $9.50, crazy numbers.
$9.50 a pound?
Yeah.
Okay. How much were you turning that over?
Listen, I was selling it, Johnny. I wasn't even counting. And this is what happened.
But how much are you charging on a pound? Like if you get it for $9.50 and you sell a guy 500 pounds.
Sometime I wouldn't make nothing. I know it sounds crazy to you, but sometime I wouldn't make nothing. Like my one guy that's buying that volume like that, maybe $25 on him or something, sometime nothing. Because I'm working on something bigger.
Sure.
Okay. So because what's happening, the moving so fast now, within a matter of hours, I'd have made it $200,000-$300,000. You might get it, what, $975? I might charge you $1,000, or if you ain't got it all, pay me later. And because what happened after was, I think about 3 months of that, I had like $1 million in weed that was mine.
Wow. Just from making $25, $50 a pound.
And that's how that quick that was going. And I didn't know, and this is how I found that out. Because I'm going through my math, and I'm thinking about what I got to pay my brother, right? He's like, man, you only owe me a couple $100,000. No, man, your numbers is wrong. I got a basement full of weed down here. Your numbers are wrong. Man, my numbers ain't wrong. Check your numbers again. I go down there and check the numbers. And then I got U-Haul boxes, because the big U-Haul boxes, only 4 25-pound bales could fit in those. I still got boxes up the ass of marijuana. That's how I figured out how much money I had. And at that time, I think I had like $750,000 in marijuana that was mine. How the I did it? I don't know. I was just moving it.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah.
For real.
So now you got a war chest. Now you got $1 million. It's yours.
That's all mine.
Okay.
But then what started to happen, they started to play games. Because what I started doing, I started making them come down, come down, come down. They had another group inside the city that they were working with. So they were trying to transition into switching over to them, because I had made that market so lucrative. So the whole thing was to switch the market over to somebody else, charge them a higher price, and just have the customers go to them. Right. It's the same weed.
Fascinating.
But what they didn't know, I had a cousin over there that was on that team, and I'd had him working with me. So he started telling me, hey, these two guys, they're reaching over and they're talking to, my guys about trying to send over to them now. Okay. I'm talking to the young lady at the strip club. She wants to get an exercise gym, workout gym. She's a workout freak. So I already started to go down and see her. So I'm starting to tell her, I need another connection. And, well, I don't know, baby. I might have something for you and da-da-da-da. So I'm feeding her money. That's what Detroit do. We feed bitches money. You know what I'm saying? And she ends up introducing me to a guy named Brian. But he has a weird name, so just call herself Brian. So she had me at, I think the hotel was the Phoenician out there. Phoenician, I can't remember what city in Arizona. But I guess Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley used to go out there. I think it was like $1,000 or $1,500 a night or something like that. Real bougie bitch. But anyway, she has him come out and meet me. He has
Scottsdale?
Scottsdale. That's it. Scottsdale. So she has him come out to meet me, and we're sitting and we're talking. We're talking about the amount of volume that I'm looking for. And I'm telling
this is a Mexican guy as well.
This is the Mexican guy.
Let me ask you before we go further. Do we know what organization these guys are with on the other side? Are they with a cartel? What kind of,
Now, Brian was not with a cartel. Oh, you talking about Mario and Frank?
Mario and Frank.
I found out that Mario and Frank's uncle was, because that's the one that the girl that I was was dating.
Right. Okay.
But exactly what cartel, I don't know. But an interesting story comes up in a little while.
I'll let you get to it. Yeah.
Okay. So
you're talking to B.
I'm talking to B. We're talking, and I'm telling him the volume I want. I keep saying, I need volume. I need volume. I need to at least be able to put my hands on 2 to 3 tons
per month.
I was doing that, Johnny, in less than a week.
Right.
But I'm not telling him that. Right. I'm just telling him what I need.
Right.
Okay. Now, from my old head, this is important. My old head told me, with dealing with those individuals down there, never tell them you have money to buy. Just tell them you can move it. And the reason why, he said, because there's informants down there. And their job is to set you up. But they can't make no money if you don't come with cash, because they get a percentage of the money.
Wow.
So if you say you don't have no money, they're going to say, F you, and move on.
Right. Wow.
So
mind-blowing tip.
Exactly. So that's what I'm telling him. I don't have no money, but I can move it.
Right.
I have no money, but I can move it. So she used to date him when they were younger. So he really wants to get back. He's in love with her. Beautiful girl, And I had that problem too. So anyway, what happens is he said, well, listen, how do you feel about going across? I ain't trying to go over there. He said, listen, my friend, I could take you across. We could talk to some people. And so he eventually took me over at some point, and we met with the Tijuana cartel. So that's how that started.
And you went down into Tijuana.
But it wasn't, not yet. We're just talking right now.
All right.
Okay, but he's eventually going to take me there. So Just give me a look. Okay. So he said he's going to call some people. So she comes back. Now, at this time, it's kind of crazy. She's beautiful, but she likes to work out. And maybe work out a little hard sometime. So at this point, I'm supposed to be giving up the ass. Okay.
But she hasn't even given you yet.
No, I haven't. I never took it. I know it sounds crazy to you, Johnny, but I'm trying to get to the bag, okay, man?
All right, sure.
Okay. So, and from my experience, when you put in something up,
absolutely,
she knows too many people.
Right. Oh.
So I don't need her falling in love with,
okay.
Not saying that I'm gonna good enough for that to happen, but you know, I don't need that with the business.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why I'm just giving her money.
Yeah.
So it's not enough for you to turn away from me because you like the money.
Okay.
So I'm withholding.
Oh, you just redeemed yourself. The whole audience thought you were the simp of the year.
I'm on my way, baby.
Okay. No. I like this.
Work
all right.
with me, Johnny. Work with me. I'm coming alive now.
Hell yeah. No, respect, respect. Okay.
So she comes in one night and we're supposed to do it, right? She come in, that's the time they had all these damn strawberry smelling lotions and all this shit. She didn't smell up the whole damn place with this shit. So, you know, I'm laying there like I'm asleep, but I peek my eye open, right? And man, she bends over to, you know, do some old sexy, put the lotion on the leg thing. Man, this whole bitch thigh cut the fuck up. I mean, like a bodybuilder. I'm like, what the f? I didn't know, but I found out later she gets in bodybuilding competitions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she was a man. Oh, I thought you said this is your introduction to trans women. Oh,
but listen, it's damn near there. But okay. So I'm like, damn. So I started,
yeah.
You know, so she didn't bother me, thank God. So I had to get her ass up, right? So next morning, B is excited. He comes back. Listen, I got somebody that wants to meet you, whatever. So she convinces me, go ahead. She's getting excited because she want to open this big gym up down there. So she gets me in a truck with him. I start going down. I just changed my mind at the last minute, getting nervous. Now, come on, man, they're waiting now. No, that take me back. I'm not going. So anyway, took me back. So I goes back to the city. Get back to the city. Frank and Nate still going through this bull, ripping my brother off, playing these different games and all that. But then I figured that my brother owes them money as well. So I'm talking back and forth with B. B starts to come up. He starts to borrow money from me. And I started loaning it to him. I'm giving it to her as well. You know, putting all his money to use. Investing, I guess you could say. So anyway.
But B is bringing you work up to the city now.
He's not bringing nothing yet.
Okay.
But he's broke. But she's telling me that B's a fuck up. He gets work from over there, and then he robs them, and he doesn't pay them.
Okay.
But B's uncle was somebody big over there. I know his uncle, father, is somebody, and had a lot of respect over there. And I would find out that over there would be the Tijuana Cartel.
Okay.
So they tolerate him.
What year is this?
I'm the worst with years, Johnny.
But it's the 90s though.
It's hold on. No, this is late 90s.
Okay.
Going into like 2000.
Okay. Gotcha.
This might be 2000 because I get that BMW, that spaceship 745 Li like 02, 03.
Okay.
Okay, so it might be like early 2000s. Okay. Anyway, okay, where was it?
So you're giving money to B. Why?
Okay, I'm giving money to B because she's giving me information that he's broke. He's broke and he probably owes somebody over there. So part of paying them off, they'll let him get something else. So, because she's feeding me information. Okay. And then I find out the work stopped coming with my brother. And he tells me, man, Big Sexy, which was the truck driver that was bringing it, he got busted out there on the highway and this, that, and the other. I'm like, really? He said, so that's why we ain't got nothing else. And so I'm talking with B. So B gets somebody down there to start sending a little something up, but sending it through the mail. I'm feeling like a peasant getting through the mail, but you know, it is what it is. So when we get there, I'll just pay him the money out. Yeah. Just the illusion like we're moving it fast.
And how much can you get through the mail?
I don't remember how much it was, John. It wasn't. I would give him like 50 or 60,000. And the thing about it, but it was compressed.
Mhm.
So it was nothing that we could really do nothing with it. But I'm just, it pay you, you pay them.
Yeah.
And so it ended up working out, but I'll tell you how in a minute. Excuse me. So we worked that. That's going. So she calls me back down to come see her because B wants to take me across. He didn't set up a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So I goes down. I meet with her. She said, "Baby, he really has something big for you." So on and so forth. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, something strange is going on. I said, but I need you to really help me get a hold of something. And I started telling her what happened with Big Sexy and all this. And she said, baby, she said, I'm gonna tell you something. She said, I've been refraining from telling you this. She told me Frank and Mario's name. I never told her their name. She said they have a grandmother, told me where the grandmother stayed, and said they have an uncle that they get work from. And the uncle right now is threatening to kill them. I'm like, are you serious? She said, listen to me. Because I'm thinking like, bitch, you making stuff up. You trying to set me up, something going on. But then she says to me that he's giving them so much time to pay him back because they gave him fake paperwork. And they stole a load. They jacked him for a load. I'm like, damn.
We've heard that's common. We've actually heard from the horse's mouth when we were in Mexico last week. The guys, the dealers on this side, Mexican dealers, will get it from the connects in Mexico, say they got busted, make fake arrest paperwork, and give it to them as proof that, hey, nothing, the work, we got arrested, nothing we could do, we lost it.
I got so much more for you.
Uh-huh.
I got so, this going to get crazy.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm like, wow. And it's totally screwed me up because he had just told me before I left, listen, Frank's in a bad spot, man. He in a bad spot. He going to send something to us, but he needs to work fast because he has to pay the connect because they won't, he gave him the paperwork, but they won't let him but Preston, we need to pay him fast. So now I know why you need to pay him fast because he didn't jack this money and he has to pay his uncle. And the only thing keeping his uncle from hurting you is his mother is begging him, don't, So that let me know I really have to make something work. So B takes me across and I give these guys nicknames because I can't remember their names. There's one guy he took me, I call him Boots because he always wore nice ostrich skin boots. Mm-hmm. And that's the drug deal over there, the ostrich skin boots and the big belt buck on the hat. So
you're in Sonora right now.
I'm in Mexicali.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm in
the city of Mexicali. Okay.
In the city of Mexicali. But I think at that point, we're slightly outside of that city. But we meet with Boots. Boots make an arrangement for us to meet with some other people the following day, but they had to come in town. We go into Mexicali. We go into Mexicali. We go to the strip club. And we're in the strip club. I got a crazy story. I don't know if you want me to tell that.
We want to hear how you met the plug.
Okay, well,
we got to get to that.
We'll come back to that. So anyway, what ends up happening is we end up going to meet Boots again. We went to another city. I can't remember the name of the city, but there's a lot of kidnapping goes on in that particular city. And huge club. The club is huge. They got, I guess, each section of the club is a different brand of music. Wow. So we go in. We're up in VIP, the plug is there, and it turns out to be some of the Tijuana guys, but I don't know it. So we cut a deal that night for them to send me up a load.
Wow. What were those details?
The details,
how much?
It was like 1,500 pounds.
Okay.
1,500 pounds. And
would they front you or do you come with cash? How does that work?
All I had to do was pay the driver.
Nice.
Pay the driver.
And how are they bringing up loads from the border all the way up to Detroit?
They didn't give me no details on that. But what I found out later is that the truck will come up so far and then they would get the weed off, put it in the van or whatever, and then they would bring it to my little house.
All the way up to Detroit?
Yeah.
Wow, like it's UPS.
Yeah.
And they put them in vans? They put the work in vans?
They put it in vans. Okay. I don't know how far it came up, but it came, I don't know if it came to Michigan or whatever, but they would get it off. It would be in like a minivan.
Yeah.
And then they would have a guy trail it. And then the minivan would come right and they'll drop the minivan off. They jump in it and they take off.
Wow.
You keep the minivan, you pull the work out, and then they come back, get the minivan later.
Yeah.
But when they did that, weed again was compressed.
Right.
But I skipped over a part. But anyway,
And do they know you were the guy moving it?
Now this is with the Tijuana cartel.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the Frank and because this weed is a total different type of weed.
Is it better?
It's not. It's worse.
Oh, okay.
It's worse. But the Tijuana cartel is just horrible. Anyway, so I end up having to borrow money from my buddy to not use all my money to just go ahead and pay it real quick.
Right.
It smoked good. It just didn't look good. It wasn't pretty to the eyes.
Right.
So I knew it would be a process, and I knew I probably had to get some more weed somewhere else and cut it and mix it in. But the fortunate thing for us at that time, there was no weed in the city. So that helped us get rid of a nice amount of it.
Yeah.
Because people like this, I'll just take this much of
like
it.
Hotcakes.
Exactly. Yeah. And plus, I'm the plug. I'm moving so much, they want to help me get to something better.
Right.
So anyway, that went, they want to meet me again. So I go down again. And they took me, I went to Mexicali, but they took me somewhere else, and it was at a club/bar. No, club/restaurant. Goes in this restaurant, and B takes me in. We go to the back of the restaurant, and we sit at a table. We talk, and they're speaking Spanish. I don't know what they're saying. But the vibes were not good for him. They were really interested in me, and I could feel that. And he's answering questions, but then they get hot at him for some reason. But I found out later, they count your words. So if he asks me a question from them and I answer, and they think that I'm saying too many words, they think he's lying. It's crazy. But anyway, it doesn't make sense, but it's going to make sense later. So anyway, a guy comes in, a younger guy. He has on Gucci loafers, Gucci belt, Americanized, hair all spiked up and things, you know. But I just know how everybody started moving and acting around him. So I find out, I don't know which one, but I guess he was one, I don't know if he was one of the Tijuana brothers or one of their sons or something, but he was somebody, and he spoke to me in English. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? I'm like, whoa. He's like, we're looking forward to working with you. I'm like, well, looking forward to working with you. So
they know you're the responsible one. Like all of their, it just seems like this whole process is just a ruse to get all of these bums out of the way because they want to deal with you.
Exactly.
Because they know the money's going to come back right.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Are you, do you, were you like, God, this is surreal. Like I'm this like orphan that used to work in like Detroit crack houses, this black guy, never supposed to have nothing. And now I'm surrounded by a bunch of Mexican kingpins and cowboy hats. Like that must have been,
you know, Johnny, that's
something
that never really came to me like that. And this is the reason why it never came to me like that, because I had a fear of black bottom. I had a fear of that beyond imaginable poor. And I was more afraid of that. So whatever took me to ending that and never going back to that again, I don't give a. That's where I was at.
Yeah.
But I was starting to get it. The old sage of Marlowe and the different things, I'm starting to see it now in real time.
Yeah.
I'm able to read it. I'm able to see it. And, you know, so now I'm clicking and I'm noticing that I have a new skill set.
Yeah.
And I don't speak the language, but I understand everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So we get back across, but at this time, my brother's calling me because he has a load coming in. He can't move it. So when I finally get across, he's like, man, I've been calling you and I was wondering what's going on. I know you're down there seeing your girlfriend, but for some reason, when I was calling you, a Spanish woman kept coming up saying like, because I'm over in Mexico. So my phone is registering over there. You calling me, the Spanish woman kicks in and say whatever in Spanish, but he don't understand it. So anyway, I get back. I think Frank's saying they cut the load down. It's like maybe like 1.5 tons. Get there, get rid of that quick. But now I'm going back down. Go back down. I meet with B. B tell me they're about to send a load up. So I get back. B comes back like a couple of days later, and they send another load up. Weed is better. So it's like 1 ton of this.
Okay.
But I'm noticing the weed had like a lot of white chalk on it. Because it's wrapped, and these bales were like 19 or 20 pounds, not 25. And it's wrapped in like black tape. I'm like, what the is this chalk? So I grab it, I do this. I'm like, this cocaine.
Wow.
So these motherfuckers were shipping weed and cocaine up together. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then the guy that drops it off, this guy, like, you can tell he's high as
Yeah.
He's not even supposed to be talking. He's supposed to drop the van and get the phone. But now he wants to sit around and talk a little bit. And he's like tweaking, you know?
Right.
I'm like, fuck, these guys are rogue, man. What the fuck going on? You know, so we get rid of it. And hey, my friend, I want to ask you something. You know, do you deal with the white? Do you like the white? No, I'm not interested in the white.
Hang on. So were they intentionally putting cocaine on the weed to make it better? Or was that a smuggling technique? Were you breaking the weed down and then taking the shards of coke and selling that? Do you see what I'm saying?
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, now let me clarify.
So those economics don't make sense.
Because I think that you're thinking that the weed was on, the cocaine was on the weed.
Yeah.
It was not on the weed. It was on the wrapping.
I see. Gotcha.
So I don't know if somebody was sniffing off of it or if something broke open while they were transporting it.
Oh, interesting.
Or whatever. But that ain't never happened before.
Okay.
You know, so, and shortly after that, I start hearing, you know, hey, you do deal with the white.
Right.
So I think they were doing it maybe hoping that I would inquire, maybe. I don't know.
See. Okay.
But as high as this guy was, I don't know if he was busting it open and sniffing off the damn or whatever.
Okay.
You know. So anyway, we get rid of it. And they go ahead and they switch out and give me another handler and kind of move B to the side. But one of the times I went down, it was a guy named Orlando and Danny. Danny's very important. Orlando and Danny grabs me and they take me around to see the mariachi bands and all this, giving me the full Mexican experience. So when I get ready to split up from them to come back, they're telling me, listen, you know, you should deal with it. Well, no, I'm not going to jump B. And that's when you say, listen, I'm going to tell you something, my friend. Your friend's no good. One thing he's going to do is he's going to use you. He's going to get us to continue to send things. He's going to borrow money from you. And it's going to be for what did you owe us? Then he's going to say that you stole something. But I'm not, even though I know he's a piece of shit, but I want to keep the rule, the loyalty, right? So anyway, we ended up, I'm doing good with them, but I don't like how they work. They're erratic. And then they start, like I said, they send this handler, but he has guys in Ohio. He really doesn't like me because they're trying to get me to move the cocaine, but I'm telling them the price I want. I told them that I want like 17. And he didn't like that because he knew he could get the guys in Ohio to take it for like 20 something. And then he could make that extra money. And then they even went as far as sending a guy up with him to come see me. And we met down at Fishbones downtown. And we sat and we talked. And I told it because I really didn't want to deal with it. So I was giving them crazy prices. I told this guy 16 and he jumped at it. The Mexican guy stopped him and started speaking to him in Spanish, but he got front, hold. And the guy looked, you know, and he's like, well, hold on, we're going to meet back with you. But the guy B that you're dealing with, we don't want you dealing with him no more. Get rid of his number. Don't call him no more. Don't talk to him no more. But I'm not understanding at that time, they most likely bought the contract from B.
Can you explain that, buying the contract? What does that mean in the drug game? You mentioned that before the podcast.
And I got a good one coming for you. But buying the contract is business. I come, you bring me. You getting the work, you giving it to me. It's coming to me basically on consignment.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'll pay the driver. So it's really being fronted to you.
Yeah.
But it's given to me under your name. So whatever I pay, you have something on each pound or each key.
Right.
So when they collect the money, they give you back yours. And
so it's really just like a handling fee.
It's a handling fee. But you have the contract. So what do I mean by that? That at some point, once I continue to work good, they want you out of the way. Right. Because they're going to want to keep that part that you got. Right. And they're going to want to pull the finagling and all this on me. Right. So they need you out the way because you know other people down there. So they'll offer to buy the contract for me from you. And that might come with a position inside the cartel as well as money. But in his case, he owed them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to forgive the debt and whatever. The whole details of it, I don't know, but I know it went something like that because of the girl, the tequila, not tequila, I call her baby doll. She told me later on some of it.
Okay.
So anyway, that was the thing. But I never got rid of him because I'm still under the loyalty thing. I'm not getting it, even though he's no good for me. But anyway, so they sent me up another load of marijuana. The marijuana from Frank and them is still coming. So I'm helping my brother out with that. But it's starting to slow up a little again. So they're still sending weed, but it starts to get worse. It wasn't, it had gotten manageable. But now since B's supposed to be gone, they're pulling the bullshit again. They're sending garbage up and wanting me to get rid of it. And then that's why I tell them to come get it. Because I found out that tactic. When they send bullshit, they don't want to take it back. They want the money back. It costs them to bring it back. So when you get them in that position, they'll say, well, hold on, my friend, hold on. They're going to try to argue with you at first. We're going to send somebody up to see if it's there. You send them there, you let them come up, let us see it and see it's all there. Well, listen, my friend, what do you think you could sell it for? And they will start negotiating. You bring the price way down. And that's how you crack them in the ass.
Right.
Where they won't play with you anymore.
Right.
So, but with this here, he didn't like me anyway. He wanted to give it to his garbage men in Ohio. So he agrees to take care of it for the cartel because he really don't want them dealing with me. And what you'll find out as you go on, the Mexican over here and the Americanized Mexicans over there don't want the cartels dealing with us, meaning black people or people like you.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something later on that's going to...
Why is that?
This is what the baby doll told me that I learned out to be my rule of thumb. She told me 3 things. Mexicans always lie. Mexicans are greedy. And she said they're also jealous of you because of your... She'd say that. Who knows how true that is.
I am too. Just kidding.
Well, let me shut up. Anyway, so what I found out is that...
So they want, in general, the real cartel plugs always want a Mexican intermediary or handler.
They don't
giving the work to their distributors like you.
They don't want to. They have to because of the language barrier.
Right.
The language barrier, and they don't understand the culture.
I see.
Okay. They don't want them in the place that they are because the cartel has a weakness. Cartel has 2 weaknesses. They're vulnerable with the drivers, and they're vulnerable at the point of sale.
Right.
And what happens is the Mexicans or the Americanized Mexicans, they get in between us and them, and then they make the load slow down sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it doesn't have to slow down. They may hold it. They can't make a move it no faster. It's slow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why they had me go down to Atlanta, which I found out later.
Okay.
Because they squeeze them and they make them come down on the price.